Howdy. So today on the bench we've got a frequency counter, Goldstar Foxtrot Charlie -7011. There's some videos on this on YouTube how to use it. It's pretty straightforward. I got this for about $45 with shipping all day on eBay. And the unit is untested. And the reason it's untested is we got a Korean plug on here. And if you can see, I don't know if it's going to focus. But yeah, it's got Korean on there. It says 3 amps, 300 volts. And if you look at the back, it's set to 220, which is fine. And then the fuse, which I haven't checked, but I will. I suspect there's a 0.2 amp in there. So I'll need to change that to 0.3 if I want to be perfectly safe. I'm not too concerned about that, but, you know, for posterity. But yeah, there's a fuse in here. Yeah, let's take a look here. Hold on. Break out the old meter here. Okay, I got one on here. Well, let's zoom out here. Let's try that. Okay. So the fuse is good. 250 volts. That's a little rusty. Seen better days. 0.3 amps. So it's the right one for 230, but actually no. Wait a minute. How about that? It's the right one for 115. Okay, you know, that kind of makes sense. Why not put the more forgiving one in there, even though with this plug, you know, it had to been, maybe they had a converter or something? I don't know. So maybe I don't need to buy a fuse, which is fine by me. But yeah, so the first thing is to change this plug out, and I bought just a 2-pronger here. 2 wires. So I will crack this thing open. And of course, while I'm in there, we'll take a look around. See anything blown, bad, burnt, etc. And yeah, go from there. Okay, so we got the cover off. Kind of came off interesting. It actually lifts straight up. So it lifts up like that. And you can see these 4 posts here. The feet on the bottom. So like that. They come up through these posts, really long screws here, and then screw into the top here. So that's interesting, but pretty clean. Everything in here looks pretty clean. We got our cap, and then behind here, which you can barely see, looks like our rectifier CR101. So power comes in here, and this is almost certainly, well, it looks certainly like a Molex connector of some sort. And boy, I would love to reuse that. Problem is, I probably do not have those crimpers on hand. I could probably make do. This is pretty low stakes here. And the cord, oh, well, there's that. All right. The cord is mostly secured here. Yeah, this lifts right up, I believe. Yeah. There we go. Nice. So I'll have to get in here and change this cord out. I don't think I can reuse well, I can't reuse the contacts, certainly. Maybe the housing, but I don't have an extractor tool. Well, screwdriver might do it. I don't know. I see these a lot of work, these Molex. They are ubiquitous, I guess is the word. They're everywhere, and they're fine for some applications. I tell you what, you go to their website, and there are just so many variations. I mean, tens of thousands, it seems like. So I've emailed them before, and they've been pretty helpful, but you know, you can use multiple types of contacts in each one for the different wire gauges, different crimpers, you know, crimp tool, a nice mil-spec or worthwhile crimp tool, you know, that's $400 or $500, you know, Only have to buy it once, but for 2 pins, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make that purchase. So if I can't reuse these, or reuse the connector at least, maybe I can just solder right to it. Not ideal, but most of the stress here is, I would hope, on this. Well, no, actually not. That comes right through. So anyway, I'll see what I can do here. I can probably clip that off right now. Zip tie. I'm not a huge fan of zip ties. Yeah, there we go. So we're free and clear there. I don't think I can. Well, there we go. Let's see. I had it. 5239 MK1, a tiny 47. 5239. That's not much to go on, but I will give it a Google and maybe find 3-pin connector and see what I can do there. So I'm taking a look at this connector here. It does have a locking mechanism. Pardon my gross thumb. 3 circuits, outside pins are used. I can release them here. I found what I think is the correct connector. It is a Molex. It does have a lock. So I got the calipers out. The width is almost dead on. Excuse me, the height. So this is, what are we at? 16.6, 16.0. And according to this, should be 15.88 plus or minus 0.38 millimeters. So I'm in there. The width is not great. So this is 12.42-ish. And dimension A, 3 circuits. I'm looking at a chart here, 11.79. So it's a little wider. Wider's fine. There's nothing on either side. So I'm not going to hit anything. The big one is the pitch, right? So pitch is the distance between the contacts. And this says 3.96 typical. So the problem is I'm going to space here, well, to air in between. I'm trying to estimate, you know, what do we got here? So I can say that's it, or I can move it in and make it match perfectly. 3.83. We're talking tenths of a millimeter here. That's 3.93. That might do it. That connector might work. I'll show you if I can not screw this up. Let's see. Wow. So let's get this out of the way. So that's what I'm talking about there. There's your dimension A, dimension B. Oh, stay focused, would you? That's gonna go nuts. Let me go manual here. Manual. There we go. So, yeah, you can see there's our pitch, 3.96 in between the contacts. The height was almost dead on. The width, dimension A, and I'm looking up here, number of circuits. There we go. 3, 11.79. I was at 12 something. So, you know, the thing is, this is Molex or a DigiKey. They're 19 cents a piece. So, you know, if I got it wrong, I could live with that. And there's no minimum buy. So I think I am going to go, what do they have? Let's go up here. Yeah, they only have 10,000 in stock, so I think I'm good there. So I'll probably pick one up, maybe 2 for in case I screw it up, which is not unlikely. Okay, so I was able to somehow get the exact right connector. So did some Googling. Like I mentioned, Molex makes so many connectors, and they can be really tough. But I got a hit. See if we can get this in here. So this is the old one. See, it's kind of a little yellowish. I mean, still okay. It's got a full rail there, a full interlock on the side there. But I was able to find this one, which as you can see is a little wider new, but it doesn't have the full, the only difference is it doesn't have the full lock, but that shouldn't matter. The whole thing still locks. Pitch is correct, dead nuts on. Found the contacts. The only problem is, or was, the crimper itself, the crimp tool. I mean, those can go from 200 to, I've seen it for 600 bucks. Just like if you're doing 1,000 of these, or you know, tens of thousands at a factory, sure. At that point, you probably have a machine to do it. But in any case, I'm not, you know, going to spend several hundred bucks on a crimper. A crimper I'm going to use once. However, thanks to some friends at work, we made it work. So I bought a new cable, the standard US plug. A little thicker gauge, which is nice because it kind of sits in here a little better. I also switched it to 110. It was on 220. But he did a combination. So he crimped where he could. The teeth, here, I'll show you. This might be hard to see because it's so small, but yeah, so those teeth right there, oh boy, I have to try to do this with, those go around, the first set there goes around the insulation, the second set crimps around the wire, and then this part slides in and locks. Well, we couldn't get the back end to go around the insulation, which is not ideal. However, he did put that, he just stripped it back more and put that around the wire. Then he soldered it. I bent both around the wire and then soldered them. Again, not ideal, but the way I figure, better than just a solder connection. We still have the lock in the connector itself. These are locked. These do not come out unless you push in here with a tool or a screwdriver if you want to cheat. So there's a lock there, and then of course there's the lock here. These two teeth here catch on the interlock on the connector itself. So I think this is still far superior to having just all that stress. There shouldn't be much. This is not going on an airplane. It's not a high vibe environment. It should just sit in a bench for who knows how long. But in any case, better that it's gripping with, you know, something mechanical than just relying on solder. So anyway, I cleaned it up a little bit, and I'm gonna plug this thing in. So first I'll put this back on. If I can manage not to screw that up. This just slides right in there. We've got 3 connectors. We'll do the new one first. Oh, that's like a perfect length. Oh, it locks in there. That's a beaut. I like that a lot. I'll give you guys a shot of that. Hold on. Number 2, and then number 3. Let's see if I can not screw this up. I have to come way down on top of it. So yeah, that first one right here, that's the new plug, and you can see it's, you have to pull back on this to release it. So that's solid. Perfect length, real nice. Here's number 3, or 2 and 3 here. This one does not lock, this one does, but this is just for the fuse. Again, this is going to be a low vibe environment. Let's turn this on. Let me see if I can zoom out a bit here. So you can see my ISO dim up here. So I'm going to plug this in. I'll do it on limit for now. And power out. Let's check the power button here. That's on, that's off. And we'll turn it on and see what happens, if anything. So I'm drawing, instead of drawing nothing. I have 1 dot there over, I don't know if that's good or not. Oh, hey, auto on. Okay. Well, I don't have a bulb lighting up, so I don't think we have a short. I'm going to go to bypass. There we go. We'll give all the current it needs, which is a whole 0.1 amp. So that's cool. So again, I don't have a manual for this, operations or service or otherwise, unfortunately. But we can still see what it does. So let me turn on my SIGGEN here. Get this going. I gotta clean my bench. Kind of a mess. I was excited to finally get something working. It's been less than great news lately. Though I think I figured something on my oscilloscope, so I'll come back to that. But Okay, so I got SingJet on. Let me come around here. Range is 10 megahertz. Auto attenuation. Okay. So this is good to 100 megahertz. My SingJet goes to 60. We'll start small. We'll say, let's go to kilohertz. Let's say, I don't know what the voltage input max on this. I want to be careful. So we'll start there. Amplitude, we'll just say 1 volt peak to peak. And then frequency, we'll say 12 kilohertz. And output on. Huh. How about that? So I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't just flip to kilohertz, right? Instead of megahertz. Instead of giving me 0.012 megahertz, just give me 12 kilohertz. That might be auto. Yeah, well, there we go. Figured that out. Gate. Oh yeah, so this is, I saw this on another YouTube video, and thank that guy. If I can find it again, I'll link it for putting it up. This is basically how fast it takes measurements, right? And the faster you take measurements, more accurate are. So I got 1 decimal place here to once per second. You can see the leg going once per second, and then once every 10 seconds. So that probably won't change, but I will get another decimal place out of here, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, 12 kilohertz. Let's crank this up. Let's just see. Well, I don't want to go. Let's go every 0.1 or auto for that matter. So 19 kilohertz. Attenuation, I don't think should matter. Let's go 5 meg. So 5 megahertz. Okay. That's pretty dead nuts on. That's pretty good. Hold, I think, just does what it says. If you wanted to hold a measurement, which I don't particularly care for. So let's just go up 6, 7. Let me go out to some decimal places here. 7.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make it a little faster. Yeah. 8. Let's go to 18. I'm just kind of going all over here. 18 meg. That looks pretty good. So this should be over range if I go back to 10. Yeah, so I'm at 18 megahertz input. This is showing 120. I think that's the high end of that range. 12,000 kilohertz, which would be 10 megahertz. I think it's over, so that's as high as it's going to go on that range. But if you go back to the correct range, 100 megahertz being the ceiling, then there we go. Let's go to auto. Okay, now, yeah. See, now we're in the high. It's going to give me the full 18 meg. With some change there. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1 is the 10,000th place. 6 is the the 100,000th place. So we're way up there, or way back there, if you will. That's pretty cool. Let's try 35 megahertz for fun. Okay. And let's see if I don't think I've ever maxed this thing out. It says 60. Let's see if I can go to, we'll go 57 for now. 57 megahertz. It takes a sec to dial in, but it's pretty much there. Let's see if I can max this thing out. 58. 59. And 60. I think it's going to beep at me if I try to go higher. Yep. And there's my phone. Yeah, so the SIGGEN says, nope, you can't go up. But that's cool. We'll go back down to 40. That's pretty responsive. Let's check the hold. So I hold it. If I change it here. Yeah, it doesn't change. That's good. That's nice to have. If you were looking at, trying to measure something, keep it steady, or really interested in all the decimal places. If I take off the hold, let's see if it changes. I'm at 37 megahertz. Cool. It's about a second. Nice. And then auto. That's pretty cool. So I feel pretty good about that. This was, I forget, what did I say? 40 something bucks with shipping. no manual. Just had to change out the cable. I think I left that upstairs, but I'll throw that in the box of spare parts. But I think the cable itself here was, I don't know, $6 or $7. And then the Molex connectors, let's see. Let's see if I can. I'm going to turn the wrong one. My camera's going to fall. Oh no, come back. Yeah, so what, 19 cents right there. So 00095033031. And then the contacts were, I don't know, a few cents a piece. I bought 3 connectors and 6 contacts just in case we screwed it up. But Casey did a great job. This guy at work, oh, there's my SIGGEN over there. Did a great job doing that and made it work. So this is a nice addition. I think I'll probably set this over there. I've got this HP, which is a very nice counter. I'll have a video on that. It's acts mostly okay. It's got a little quirky behavior, but yeah, this here will go on the bench, and it'd be nice to have a backup. Make sure I'm not crazy when I'm measuring things, or excuse me. So anyway, kind of cool. Probably a quick one. I'll put this back together. Just got to put the cover on with the handle, and we'll call it good. I guess this is where I'm supposed to say, you know, like and subscribe. That'd be cool. I'm kind of new to YouTube. I like electronics. I like doing this stuff. It keeps me busy. It's always been interesting to me. I'm not in it to make a billion bucks or anything. Just to learn and to teach if I can. And if that sounds cool to you, you know, subscribe. Maybe like the video. And I'll see you soon. All right. Thanks.